Alrighty, so this morning I'm sitting with David Letele from Buttabean Motivation.
It's me.
It's you. Now Dave, I've been following your content predominantly on LinkedIn and admiring the rise of Buttabean Motivation. So I was wondering, could you tell us how you got to the point that you're at now?
Oh, yeah, it's
It's quite a broad question.
Yeah, it's been a long journey. I started this 6 years ago, and it was really just out of my own journey. I spoke about it this morning actually, where I said, you know, this was born out of my failure of my life. I fell over, I lost everything, you know, including my family, and I've got them back now, my kids. But I just had to get up, and I had no idea actually that it would come to where, you know, arrive here where we are now. But I started just my own journey, and out of that it turned into a Facebook group, Buttabean Motivation, BBM Motivation on Facebook. From that we started boot camps. You know, our boot camp started with just helping one person. It was my father-in-law's friend. He needed help, so we helped him. And then we thought, why don't we see if anyone else wants to come from our group? And you know, so from those 3 people that started our first session, we now have you know, up to 2,000 people a week coming to our free sessions. I suppose the business side out of it came, I was a boxer and I didn't really like getting punched in the head all the time, so I started a company called Macroactive, came up to me. They offer like a platform to sell your programs online, and so that's how I started that as a way to fund our free stuff that we're doing, because we've only started getting grant funding last year. We've been going 6 years, so with our boot camps have always been free. And that was a way that I can feed the family. And then now we've started getting grant funding. We've started working with Counties Manukau, BHB, but it's all come organically. You know, if you'd asked me 6 years ago that I think would be in our own headquarters, you know, helping so many people and doing what we're doing now, it would have been hard to see.
Yeah.
You know, but it was always a dream of mine to do something like this. But you know, if you work hard, the dreams can come true.
Totally. So what's the motivation behind that dream?
The motivation was really, again, I hated my life. You know, I was laying in a single bed and just thinking, geez, surely this can't be it, you know. And I got up and I worked. The motivation for me was we call it our why, getting my children back, being an example for them, being a better example. And then now my motivation is helping others to do the same thing that I've done, you know, and letting them understand it's possible, you know, giving people hope and a purpose, and then the tools to also go out there and achieve it. You know, so that my motivation is leading by example and showing others what's possible.
Yeah. One thing that really resonates with me is you've got 2 very different audiences. You've got the user who is benefiting from your programs, and then you've got the corporates who, you know, you're getting the grants and the funding from. How do you communicate so effectively and get that buy-in from those 2 very different groups of people?
Yeah, you know, the cool thing is I've just started using LinkedIn really properly last year. Yeah. And I just love it. Yeah. You know, it was definitely a different audience, and I could see that I can get to people that make decisions and get to people that have money in a company and that are wanting to run wellness programs or just wanting to support what we're doing. And so I really just post the same. I really post the same across all my platforms, but there's just different techniques on LinkedIn as who you tag in, and you know, if you go on and you can see who's looking at your profile. If you see that they're a CEO or a chairman of a health organization, boom, connect, boom, message, you know. And if they've looked at your profile, they're aware of the work you're doing. So, you know, no one can doubt the work that we're doing, the impact that we're having, and so it's pretty easy to get it across, you know, and once you get in the door and get to meet these people, and it's just getting to the decision makers. Yeah. You know, that's always what I try and do.
And so I wonder, do you have a piece of advice that you'd give to someone trying to make change, trying to do things a bit differently than all the other peers in their audience?
My advice is to make sure you lead by example. You know, too many leaders that I see out there don't lead by example. They don't practice what they preach. They say one thing and do a total other. For me, if I'm in the health industry, I'm not in a fitness industry, I'm in the health industry. So if people are going to come see me, I want to make sure that I'm doing my best to be healthy. I'm training, I'm eating right, and I'm surrounding myself with good people. You know, I'm not saying that you have to have a 6-pack, because I don't, you know, but you can't preach health if you're not healthy. You
Yeah.
know, so whatever industry you're in, just make sure you're actually doing the work and you're leading by example. If you're in sales, make sure that you're good at sales and you actually have some history and some clients that you've helped to prove that you're good at sales and this is what you do before you start teaching others.
Yeah.
You know, if you're going to teach others, make sure that you actually are good at it. That would be my answer. My answer to that
I
question.
love it. Off the cuff, I didn't give him a pre-warning for that, so that was a nice natural response. Yeah, well, I think those are the questions that I have for you this morning,
Awesome,
Dave.
beautiful.
I so appreciate you taking the time to meet with me. Thank you.
No worries, thank you very much.
And as always, I'm going to put some links for Dave and for Buttabean Motivation, so that if you want to follow the journey and see what they're up to, you can just go straight there and stay in touch.
Yep, and I'll finish, if you don't mind, I'll finish with 4 tips to all of your followers and your viewers that are going to watch this. 4 tips for anything you can apply this, not just for health, but life.
I love it.
Number 1, just start. Too often we think about things too much. I'll start tomorrow, I'll start next week, I'll start next month. For a lot of people, that tomorrow never comes. You know, so you've just got to seize the moment and start. The second thing is once you start, stay consistent. A lot of the times we start and then something in life happens, you know, we have a bad day, a bad month, and we fall off and we stay off. The trick about consistency is understanding that no one's perfect. You all have bad days. If you fall off, jump straight back on. That's consistency. Number 3 is surround yourself with good people. Something that I've done. To be successful, I've had to surround myself with other successful people, other people that are going to pull you up, you know, and lift you up when you're down, not people that are going to drag you down. You know, this journey's hard enough without being surrounded by people that are only going to make it harder. And the last thing is our mantra of no excuses. Never let excuses get in the way. You know, and that comes down to having a very strong why and a very strong purpose. If your why is strong, you can get through anything.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Love it. Go on.
No excuses.
No excuses.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dave.
Thank you very much.